Welcome to this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Luck. The last town council meeting was a joint meeting between members of the town council, members of the BR school committee, and members of the town's finance committee. This is the first step in setting up the upcoming budget. BR Superintendent Derek Swenson started the process a few months ago, making up a needs-based budget after communicating with the administrators in each of the district's buildings. Mr. Swenson is advocating for an in-house HVAC consultant and added that technology is a cost driver because it moves so quickly. Transportation is another cost driver, but the superintendent added that there is 60 to 70% reimbursement from the state. There are a potential 12 positions that would be added into the budget, 8 for the entire district, 1 at the high school, 2 in Bridgewater, and 1 in Rainham. The pandemic obviously affected many things in town and across the school district, but one of them was enrollment numbers for students in kindergarten and first grade, so a teacher at the middle school was included in the 12 potential new positions requested in the needs-based budget. According to the superintendent, the original stimulus package gave the BR school district $420,000. Now, with the most recent stimulus package coming in, the district should see an increase in funds which will be geared toward technology budgets. Positions hired under the CARES Act, if deemed unnecessary, would not be carried over into the operational budget, which won't be affected by the pandemic. Members of the council thanked the district and the school committee for their work during the pandemic.
I don't think we can say thank you enough for rolling with the punches during this pandemic, and really just bringing to light how dedicated so many people are in regards to making sure at the end of the day we're taking care of our kids. And taking care of our kids is a very large responsibility. And I hope that people that have been kind of paying attention understand that the school system, I will say personally, on top of, giving people an education, serve many different roles that probably a lot of people did not realize until it became a challenge.
Town Manager Michael Dutton shared some bullet points on the town's upcoming budget process. He said that the pandemic impacted how services were provided and had concern about local receipts with stores closing. He did add that the town is positioned to handle dips in the economy and to avoid service cuts. $1.6 million was taken from the town's stabilization fund, and another projected $1.6 million may be used for this upcoming budget. Again, this is all very early in the budget process for both the district and the town, but the town manager did add that some financial details couldn't be shared because that usually happens after the governor submits his budget. Also, during that meeting, we started to learn a little bit about the COVID vaccination process here in Bridgewater and what it could look like. There was a COVID clinic for first responders already held, but as the state prepares to move to phase 2, the town may have vaccination sites already planned. Mr. Dutton told counselors that the town is awaiting word from the state and the Department of Public Health on a number of COVID vaccine doses. The popular question is, when can I get my vaccine, and is there a way to get my name on a list?
From the local level, I think between setting up, the protocols, the required protocols that we have to set up for the actual vaccination, and then and making sure that we go through the practice of running down the list of folks that need to be vaccinated at this stage. I think we're learning and developing that process, and I think it's going to work quite well. As we get moving further, my hope is within the next week we can actually come right out and say, if you want to get on the COVID list, call this number, leave your name and address, or leave your name and email address, or leave your name and phone number, and we will coordinate it.
The town manager did add that it's a better idea to let the town continue pre-planning and get the number of doses before calling to get your name on an actual list. As far as the sites go, BSU is hoping to remain a site for phase 2 and phase 3 vaccinations, while there may be a drive-through site and an additional site for phase 3. You can watch the council meeting in its entirety on Channel 22 or on demand anytime at btvaccess.com. Phase 2 of the state's vaccine rollout is projected to start on February 1st. There was a change in that phase's plan, as individuals aged 75 and up will be the first of the phase to receive the vaccine. Individuals aged 65 and up will be second, along with individuals with 2 or more comorbidities. This phase does feature many people, including early education and K through 12 workers, transit, grocery workers, utility, food and agriculture, restaurant, and cafe workers. You can see the other people eligible for a vaccine on your screen right now. And Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker said that by mid February, the state should have the capacity for 305,000 vaccinations per week. Now, even though the state has that capacity, it doesn't mean they will have that many vaccines because the number of vaccinations depends on numerous variables, including the number of available doses at the federal level. Understandably, this is a lot of information to digest. So, for more information on phase 2 of the state's vaccination plan, visit bwaterportal.com or visit mass.gov/COVID vaccine. Many W-2s are on their way to employees across the country as tax season is upon us. It can be a crazy time, especially after what 2020 brought us, but there are some tips from Forbes magazine to help make this tax season a bit easier. First, organize your tax documents and financial records. Your tax return from the previous year is a good starting point, and if you did misplace it, you can request a copy of it through the IRS online portal or whatever tax software you used last year, like H&R Block or TurboTax. And speaking of the portal, another tip is creating a tax account with the IRS. With an account, you'll be able to check balances, potential payment arrangements, and be able to find forms and prior year's documents. For more on that portal, you can visit irs.gov. You also want to be aware of big changes. These stimulus checks and unemployment checks could affect your return or how much you'll actually owe. For the full article and potential ways to file your taxes for free online, we have the link for that at the bottom of the screen. This past Sunday, family, friends, and residents came together to celebrate a special milestone. Stella Wagner had a 100th birthday celebration brought to her South Street home, and you can see in these photos taken by the Brockton Enterprise that Stella was in a small tent with a space heater, but this was an occasion that left everybody with a warm feeling. Citations were given to Stella from the Bridgewater Town Council and by former Speaker of the House, Robert DeLeo. Family members and friends drove by holding signs and saying hi, while neighbors came by to wish a happy birthday. The senior center collected cards from people that were delivered, and according to the paper, a Zoom call was held connecting Stella to her cousins across the country. Turning to your health, working from home has its perks: shorter commutes, better hours, not having to go out into the freezing cold and shovel your car out. However, it can also have bad habits like snacking during the day. Doctors have actually noticed an increase in the number of people experiencing weight gain.
And it makes sense. We are just feet from our kitchen. And not only that, we are at home and we are feeling stressed, bored, and lonely. So this is an increase in emotional eating, stress eating, and a lot of mindless snacking.
Doctors say it's important to practice mindful eating and remember the 3 S's. Sit while you eat, as studies have shown people eat 5% less when they're sitting at an actual table. Slowly chew and take your time savoring each bite. And finally, stop what you're doing. It may be easier to eat while you work, but it should be avoided.
A lot of people use their desk as a dining room table. Instead, think location, location, location. Pick a snack spot. And when you have a snack, it's fine to have a snack. Just stop what you're doing, move to that spot, and that's where you have your snack. Psychologists call that localizing a behavior so that we're not snacking at many different times in many different locations.
Now, doctors do add that it's key to know when you're actually hungry and not just bored or stressed. Some good snack ideas include oranges, pumpkin seeds, and Brazil nuts. Never had a Brazil nut, but it's a pandemic, might as well give it a shot. Thanks for watching this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Love.